In the game of tennis, a backhand is a tennis stroke in which the racket travels across the player's body, striking the balls with the palm facing towards the chest and the back of hand moving towards the opponent on the follow-through. In tennis, a backhand stroke can be one-handed or two-handed.
Step number 1 is cover your grip. You have to put your dominant on top and your dominant on bottom, as if you was going to shake somebody's hand. That is the grip that you have to do, because it can flash behind the racket, providing maximum quality as you make contact with the ball.
Step number 2 is a good shoulder turn and a good unit turn as early as possible as soon as it's coming to your back end. You have to get sideways on so the right shoulder is turning if you are a right-handed player and left should turning if you are a left-handed player. When you see the balls coming, you have to go sideways and move to the glow sideways on with a good shoulder turn with a good unit time.
Step number 3 is you have to turn your shoulder your sideways on. You need to get the racket higher than the grip level because this will create leverage over the ball. Leverage basically means force over the ball, and with this position, you have more space to accelerate the racket head. You are ready to blast the ball to hit a powerful back-handed end.
Step number 4 is you make contact in front of the body and a non-heeling hand if your right-handed is going back down to contract the right hand going forward. So if you are lefty, your right hand going back and down. If you are right-handed player, hitting the ball in front of left hand is going back. The end that going back and down, supporting the upper body, counterbalancing what's going on with the other hand. Your chest has to basically stretching your arm going back and down to balance the upper body and to stop the shoulder from opening.
Step number 5 is the pull back. You have to focus on your non-dominant hand. You have to pull back with your shoulder and the hips. Use the pleater of getting your shoulder underneath your chins. The shoulder under the chins will ensure a full take back to give you maximum power to the ball.
Last step, number 6, is you have to imagine that you dip the head of the racket on the pole and you are going to splash up to your follow-through. So the follow-through gonna get the racket nice and high up to the ear perfectly.
The first most common mistake drawing back hand technique is initiation of the swing, which the most players start to lips. So they will do or not do the split step, the power start coming to them and then start moving without starting a swing. So definitely, as soon as you see where the ball is going, you have to start a swing. The second common mistake is low swing that give no leverage in power position. Most of the player, they kind of make the low swing so they are QT scarab going back low or even lower than this and this side view. When you start in this way, they have no leverage on the racket position behind. If you can see on the top level, the pros and the plaintiff 200 back ends, you know the racket will go. You have definitely point up to the sky, so there are varieties of how improve the swing, but definitely you want to have the racket tight in the back in the power position here. The low position in the racket will happen once you start the initiation of swing.
The third most common mistake while doing backhand technique is when you initiate the torso, the rotation with your non-dominant side, then the racket will lag back on you will make contact with the dominant shoulder move in front. This is going to be contact on your forehand. The actual technique is you have to get your back turn toward the ball, the dip, the racket, the front shoulder, the racket will go up. The lower you go with your front shoulder, the higher the racket tend to go. When we start straightening the position, the racket will naturally drop. The fourth or last most common mistake is turning too early due lack of control of head and non-dominant arm position. When you hit the ball, you keep looking where is the ball and forget about your left arm, and then everything is turning and you will spin too much. The actual technique is when you are hitting the ball, your left arm is counterbalancing back right and you are staying focused on the contact point with your head position. Then you stretch in your chest and trying to stay sideways longer than you can turn after.